Hello, and thank you for tuning in. My name is Dominic, or D for short, 1E, and this is my place. It's a safe space I created to talk about life, real life, no filter, no judgment. If you're joining me for the first time, here's a look at what we've talked about previously.
I can't worry if you're going to trust me. I still have to tell the truth.
You can tell the truth, but it's about how you deliver it.
I feel like you shouldn't be in my space, like if you don't feel like you can trust me.
Was that for me?
Not
No.
you. I'm just saying.
But if she's not buying into that,
Right.
you can now it's just like, you think.
Oh yeah, we ain't praying about that.
And if you've been with me before, thank you for tuning in again. I really appreciate your support. So, let's jump right into this week's episode.
And action.
And we're back. Welcome back to Dee's Place.
So Pam, I want to talk to you a bit because you and I have been friends for quite a long time, and when we lived together and we would go through things and we would go through like this quiet period, and then it's like, okay, I don't know, is she bothered, is she not bothered, but we got through all of that. Any thoughts on were you bothered?
Yeah.
The truth is, I'm very seldom bothered. Like, there were times when you rubbed me, like right all the way down this and back up. But I can't say I was bothered because I know you and I know those things about you. But in those moments, me being me didn't want that. If that makes sense. I didn't want that part of you in that moment because I was somewhere else. I have a very small circle of friends, and it's because of my trust issues. So when I know you and I know you guys and I know people, like most of the time, because of the relationship that I have with you all and the personalities that we have, if there's an issue, it's in my head at that moment. And I know that about me. So instead of me making it an issue with us, I step back. And I say, okay, that really wasn't a big deal, Jeremiah. Like you said,
So,
I have to step back and say, that really wasn't.
did you just do a Usain move?
Yeah, because you know,
I was
you know,
worried though. I was like,
but you know, like you have to step back. You have to step back and say. So sometimes you have to take those moments because you know these people and you trust them. You have to take that step back and reevaluate some of your own behavior.
Ironically, I had the same things. So
Right.
if you rub me the wrong way, because sometimes you're very animated with your conversation, and I didn't grow up with animated people, so
What?
like you don't come at me like this, and you don't talk loud to me. Like I remember being 4 telling my mom, I hate it when you talk loud, and so she didn't do that. So for somebody who's used to that, I'm thinking you're mad, you're upset, you're hollering at me, you know, and so I had to bring it back and not bring it to her, but I did have to bring it back to say, maybe she's not mad at all. And so I remember one time you said something, I don't know what, and I was immediately bothered. And then I thought about it and I was like, but that ain't Pam. Actually, I said that ain't Cole. That ain't Cole. And so I had to tell myself, so if she says something like this, you have to say what you feel. And so the next time she said something, I snapped back. And then we just had a conversation like it wasn't anything wrong. And then that was when I started to learn, no, that really wasn't cold. Like it wasn't what you were thinking in your head, but you have to say something so that you can actually see what is it. And so I think we've had a beautiful friendship with the she's getting on my nerves or I love her to death.
I am grown, Dominic. I am a grown woman. Wait a minute. Say it again. Grown woman.
but that come in too. That ain't mean trust right there. That's relationship. And people don't have an understanding of like where do trust come in, where do relationship come in, where they neck and neck. Y'all had a trust already that the relationship became good. So even when you rubbed each other the wrong way, the love y'all had for each other, y'all couldn't separate.
But I still think I had to be able to trust that regardless of how I feel right now, we can work it out and we can work it through because I know her.
Right.
So because I know her, I'm going to trust that I can say what I feel and I can get it out, and she's going to accept it and receive it, and we're going to either talk about it or we're going to work through it. Because if I don't have that trust with her, I'll never say what I feel, and then we'll pull apart because I'm over here being quiet and not saying something, and she's over there trying to figure out what's wrong with her. Why is she not saying something? Now she got an issue, I got an issue,
And nobody needs to have an issue.
Nobody needs to have an issue. Thank you very much for sharing. And we're going to go over to the couples. So my singles, just hold back for a second. We're going to talk to
Lean back.
Rude.
Lean back.
Rude. So in talking to you and me. Okay, so for my married couples, I know you guys are having fabulous relationships right now, but the question I have is, before you were married, had you had a situation where you were hurt, and how did you not allow that hurt, or how did you stop that hurt from interfering with the relationship you have now, which ultimately led to marriage?
So for me, I think, to be really honest, like, it started way before boyfriends. It was like a dad, and I feel like I had to forgive my dad in order to trust and move into trusting my husband. Okay. To be really honest,
I was just gonna ask you, how did you get past moving?
I just think time and seeing through relationships. Actually, I learned that it wasn't always my dad, and it could be my mom too. You know what I mean? So I think that through relationships, I grew and I learned and I matured, and then I was able to forgive and then trust.
Your parents aren't watching this, right?
Like a cycle. They should. They should absolutely watch it.
Oh, I love it. So you had hurt from family, and you were able to get through it, to recognize that it wasn't everybody, and then forgive them before you could move on and be free to open up. That's beautiful.
This is my actual second marriage and last. So my first marriage had its issues, including trust related as well. But I try my best any given day to not bring the issues, and especially the trust issues from that relationship, into this one. Not always easy to do. It takes some self-examination sometimes, which I don't always have, because as people, we're naturally selfish, so we always think we're right majority of the time. So it's hard sometimes to have that kind of focus unless you're actually thinking about it beforehand. But I do try to not bring those previous issues, and I've tried to learn and grow from that previous relationship as well, so that I can help build this.
Newlyweds?
So, going to counseling, one of the things the counselor talked about was there are generational curses. Mm-hmm. So one of the things that we have done as well is we pray at night that we break those generational curses so that we can get past those things and we can start anew. This is our relationship, and we have to get past anything that might have hurt us before, so that we can grow with each other.
Basically what she said, I think.
You learned already, just what she said.
Yeah, okay. For me, I had to let my past die.
Mm-hmm. That's a strong word.
That is. That's a strong statement.
Yeah, people don't know how to let stuff die. I can't. It's not even fair to her for me to bring my distrust things into this relationship. Mm-hmm. So I had to separate from her and say, hey, you know what? God help me. Trust issues don't start in relationships. Trust issues starts in families. Mm-hmm. And when you get to the point where you know where the root of the thing is at, once you can tackle the root of the thing, you can do everything. I had to learn about the past relationships and see why she reacts this way, why she's so defensive. And she had to do the same thing. Like, whatever relationship you in, man, learn that person. Learn their past. Then you can have an understanding. People don't want to put the time in to build trust. But before you do all that, you gotta let your past die.
It was very interesting to me that Tiffany said something about her trust starting in her family. My trust started in my family. Jeremiah said something about trust starting in his family. And I read once that it was a meme that said, you begin to lose trust the first time your mom said, if you tell me the truth, I'm not going to whoop you.
I lost trust in Mama, if you're watching.
The funny thing about that is, I thought of that with my daughter. And I mean, you guys all know Joss, but I thought of that with her. So even when she did something,
You couldn't.
And I really wanted to tear her up.
You couldn't.
I couldn't because I
Although
told
this
her.
is not therapy, I am a mandated reporter. So you're hitting your kids. I have to.
Report it.
Yeah, I have to put
You
on.
should report it because she's 21.
It's never too
And
late.
she survived. But even when I wanted to tear her up, I couldn't because I had to make sure she could trust me. And so when I say you won't get in trouble, and there were instances where she really, and I'm like, ooh, you lied, but you told the truth. So I had to come around a different way. But I agree, it does happen in families, and I mean, as I've been saying on the other episodes, fears, faith, all of that starts when we're younger, and the things we experience at home with families. And you guys talked about generational curses. They come from somewhere, and so somebody has something going on and they transfer it to you, and so you start acting out in that same vein and you transfer it to somebody else. I created this channel to get over hurt so that I wouldn't be passing it on to somebody else, so that I could deal with my issues and get over them, so that I could be free to, as I normally do, give you your trust when you walk in the door. Now, if you break it, that's on you. But right now, when you walk in, you got it. So I thank each and every one of you for not only being a big part of my life and a part of my family here while I'm away from home, but also for taking the time to just, come to Dee's place. It's a safe space, and talk about things that matter to me and apparently matter to each and every one of you. So I really appreciate all of your time. I thank you all for watching. I hope to see you again next week, same time, same place. Dee's place. It's a safe space.